if you can't be there in person, you can still join in, and then you turn on your webcam. Like, even those are good to have. Using things like Slack, I think, are really important. So, yeah, communication. I think trust is probably a big one, too. Like, just to be completely transparent, I mean, I was asked to become part of a project with them recently, but there's another video guy on there. I'm like, well, so how does this work? I'm like, are we like bidding against each other for like the project, or are we working together as a team, or like what does that look like? And they didn't even really know. And he was thinking the same thing I was. I mean, he actually was the one that asked the question. He was like, so how do we work together, and how does the money work and all that? And I think they were still figuring it out themselves. They didn't really completely know, but I felt like, at least because we were able to be there face to face and just sort of get some of this stuff out in the open, that was important to create that trust and sort of to define, for teams to define what those working relationships were going to look like and what was the scope of my responsibility versus everybody else. Like, I think those things are all important. Because, I mean, it can get a little willy-nilly if you don't have, that day-to-day, like, kind of groove that you get with a team. And it's just remote, or it's, one-off people. I mean, it's difficult, I think, to create that sense of a team if they're not really a team all the time,
Yeah, makes sense. What are the characteristics of people that you try to avoid when you're working with?
Sorry, when working with what?
What are the characteristics of people that you try to avoid when you work on a project with other people?
Is this more like for clients or more for like team members?
It's more for team members, but you can talk about the clients as well.
Okay. Well, I think one thing is, whenever I have a client who I can see very quickly is price versus value driven. I had a few red flags, with guys before, where the first thing, I'd send them like a services sheet, and they instantly went to like the lowest price one without really evaluating which solution is going to give them the most value. And then that's just kind of like, oh, okay. So I see. Those are the kind I'd like to avoid. That's the big thing. And I think as far as avoiding, I try to avoid people that are super generalist. I think it's good to work with people that are very good at what they do and specialists. And I think that's important. I think also I try to avoid people that need a lot of direction. I prefer to work with people that are self-motivated, that can be trusted to take ownership. I find it frustrating to work with people that you need to, micromanage, because I don't want to be micromanaged. I don't want to micromanage. In my former, life as a government employee, I did have an employee that I had to micromanage, but then through long-term, mentorship and encouragement, I saw this person kind of transform and, blossom into this, more self-driven person who took ownership for their areas of responsibility. And that was really, I think, a huge evolution for that person. And it became a thing of trust where I didn't have to worry about checking and double-checking every little thing that they did, because they were responsible. And once they took that ownership, I could trust that, hey, look, can you take care of that? And then let them just go with it. So, ownership, responsibility, trust are things that I embrace, and people that don't exhibit those are things that I try to, avoid.
And we have arrived at our last question. So what difference do you see between working in a team in the gig economy versus traditional work environment?
In terms of working with team or with a team?
With a team, with a group of people.
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, I think one thing is there is more opportunity to really develop a good working relationship. I think there's more ownership for each team member to do that. Because if you're in a more traditional kind of setup, you know, you're kind of lumped together with people that you may or may not want to work with. And, you know, you kind of have to. And you kind of get this, you know, that's where like a lot of politics come into play and backstabbing and that sort of thing, and resentment. And I feel like if it's an ad hoc team that's being put together, I don't know. I feel like there's more opportunity for people to just kind of take advantage of the opportunity and say, like, you know, okay, we're going to do this. It's kind of exciting, you know. It's like we may only be on this for like a temporary time, but like let's make the most of it. And I think it's also refreshing to be able to work with different teams. You know, I mean, it kind of helps you understand, I think, through who you are because of working with different kinds of people with different personalities, with different skill sets. And so I think it's very dynamic. Whereas, you know, before I had to work with the same team for years and years, whether I liked it or not, you know. I don't know if that helps answer the question.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Okay.
So, we're actually done. I just have to take your demographics. What's your age?
32.
32, you're obviously male. What's your level of education?
Master's degree.
Master's. How would you describe your work? Full-time, part-time, something else?
Full-time.
Full-time. How many years of experience do you have in the field?
10.
10 years. And how many years of experience do you have in the gig economy?
1.
1 year. And you said you work with team for a month, roughly a month.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it. Thank you so much for taking so much time for me. It was really helpful, and you gave me a lot of information, so thank you.
Great. I hope it's helpful.
Yes, it's very helpful. And I wish you and your business all the best.
Hey, appreciate it. Thank you.
Bye. Have a great day.